What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Bravo by Gays. I am your host, Larry. It is Friday. We made it to the end of the week. Thank God. I mean, the holiday weekend, the extra day really just killed me. So I am happy that we are finally here. But hope you guys had a great week. I hope you guys had a good weekend with the extra day off. I know I took advantage of it. So there's a lot to talk about. We obviously had the premiere of season 4 of Salt Lake City, and that's kind of where I want to start off. I want to get right into it and just kind of go through everything that happened in the premiere episode. So we're going to talk about Salt Lake City. We are going to talk about Orange County. And we might cover a little bit of New York. It felt like New York was kind of like a filler episode this week. Not really much happened, but there are a couple thoughts that I have in regards to the episode itself. So not a full recap, just going to give you some thoughts on it. And then we'll wrap up with a couple of things, a couple of thoughts that I have in regards to some stuff that is in the news or has not yet come out in the news. So let's just get right into it, guys. All right, season 4 Salt Lake City came out on Tuesday, and it did not disappoint. I am so happy that the ladies of Salt Lake City are back. It was such a good premiere from beginning to end that was just filled with like drama, like jokes, one-liners, funny stuff, like everything about it. I mean, obviously, we started off the episode with the Queen of Sundance, kind of like setting up a Sundance Film Festival party. Obviously, the Queen of Salt Lake City, Lisa Barlow. I mean, I've missed her so much, and I feel like I hope that you guys did as well, because I just love when she's on my television screen. Like, she can just do no wrong to me. So I'm so happy she's back. So it really obviously, so it started off with the Sundance stuff and like her and John talking, and we get into like a little bit of the family stuff that's going on with her son making the decision to not go straight to college after graduation, but to go on his mission instead. And he kind of went through this year-long process of making this decision without her or John knowing about it. She says that he sat her down one day and was like, "Mom, I got to tell you something," and just kind of like dropped the bomb on them. We did learn last night after the premiere, she was on, I'm sorry, that was not last night. This was on Wednesday. She was on, oh my God, I am all over the place. I don't even know what day of the week it is. Salt Lake City was on Tuesday. Tuesday night after the premiere, she was on Watch What Happens Live. Sorry, guys, the extra day kind of like threw me off. Tuesday night after the premiere, she was on Watch What Happens Live. We learned then that he's actually leaving this week. I think he left yesterday, which would have been Thursday. He left for his mission. And she was talking about how she's like not going to be able to see him for 2 years. Like, he is going on this mission. She'll know where he is, but like she won't see him for however long. And then she kind of gave him like a little jab in regards to his grades, because she did say that he graduated with honors, and she thought that she was going to have to buy him like honor cords on Amazon and like fake it, like, so it looked like he did. But she said he did it all on his own. He graduated. So he's gone. He has left on his mission, but you can kind of see where she kind of felt like a little like blindsided by it, because like she wasn't in on like the entire process of him going and doing all of this stuff. But even John said in the premiere episode, like, he's ready to like leave the house and like go on his own and like do his own thing. And I mean, you can't really blame him. I mean, he's what, 17, 18 years old. I mean, by that time I was ready to get the hell out of the house. So, but I mean, it's obviously different. Like when you're the parent, you kind of watch them grow up so quick, and all of a sudden, like they're gone one day, and now she can't talk to him for 2 years. So I can see why she's a little bit frustrated and upset and just like sad about the entire situation. But we'll hopefully be able to get to see more of that process, like as the season goes on, and kind of just see what happens with the family in that way. But again, just so happy the Barlows are back on our TV screen. Speaking of back on TV, Mary M. Cosby made her return to Salt Lake City Housewives. And let me tell you, she did not disappoint from the second she stepped into her scene with Meredith at Meredith's store and she couldn't open the door. I was just like happy she was back, because like that's like the kooky and craziness that like you get from Mary, is like stupid stuff like that. Like, and of course, once she opened the door, she was complaining about the door. Like, you need to get that fixed. Like all this stuff. It is just so funny. And we obviously like see Meredith and Mary like sit down and catch up in regards to like what's going on in Mary's life. And when I tell you, I have not laughed harder when Meredith asked Mary how like life was going with like Robert Sr. and Robert Jr. And Mary says like everything is good. And then she says that Robert Jr. has a girlfriend. And then she goes, well, it might be a wife. I don't know. It might be a wife. People are telling me that he's married. So she doesn't even know if her son is married. And the kicker is they live together. And she's just said, and all she says is that like she hasn't had like an opportunity to ask him. She hasn't like seen him. So she lives with her son, hasn't had the opportunity to ask him about this potential marriage, but if he's married, is the wife living with them? Like, I don't understand how your mother does not know this. Like, and that's just like the crazy shit that like happens with Mary. It's just like, it is like, I was not surprised whatsoever. I am just so goddamn happy that like she is back on TV. Like, I have said it before. I know, guys, some people just like don't like it because of like everything that was swirled around like her church, and some people are like, oh my god, she didn't show up to the reunion, so like how could she get her job back? I mean, it's at this point, who cares? Like, she's here, so embrace it. What do you like? The show's already been shot. What do you want them to do? Like, she's obviously back. She's not back in a full-time capacity, so maybe that was her punishment for not showing up to that one reunion. Who's to say? I mean, you're never going to get the answer you want when it comes to that question. Like, the network or production is really probably just going to do what they want. And maybe it's just like situational. You know what I mean? But she's back, and man, let me tell you, she did not disappoint this episode. And even like the flashbacks of things with her, like, just did not disappoint. I don't know. I love it. I'm just like, I'm not a Mary Cosby stan, but I am a Mary Cosby fan. Like, I may not agree with what like everything she does. I probably actually mostly disagree with like a lot of the things that she does, but I like the stuff that comes, like the shit that comes out of her mouth is hilarious. Like, it's entertaining to me. And if you take it for what it is, it's like just that, like an entertainment value, you would see that like I don't know, it's kind of essential. Like, it's just kind of like not even like, it's just kind of like a breath of fresh air. It takes away the seriousness of everything. But I mean, I want to get right into newbie Monica. We obviously met Monica Garcia, and when I tell you Bravo Casting has probably never done such a good job with casting a housewife than they did with Monica Garcia. Monica Garcia used to be Jen Shah's assistant, and she dropped a bomb right out the gate. And we learned that Jen had approached Monica and said, do you want to be rich? Do you want to make $600,000 a year? If so, all you have to do is put such and such in your name. Well, Monica was like, what the heck? What the hell? That's crazy as hell. What are you talking about? Monica has a friend in the Secret Service. She called this friend in the Secret Service and told him about that situation. And that friend said, get the hell away from her. You do not, Jen Shah is going to jail. 2 months later, Jen Shah gets arrested, and Monica Garcia is a witness in her federal case. Now, obviously, as the premiere was airing, we got a tweet from Meredith Marks that said, and you guys were the ones that thought that I called the FBI. This entire case that was being built against Jen was going on for years. So it's not like Monica was the one that ratted her out, and that is the cause of her being arrested. That's not what it was whatsoever. Monica had told her friend that was in the Secret Service about what Jen had told her, and that's probably just something that they used in the case against Jen. So Monica's not the one, I'm sure, either, that is responsible for everything that's going on against everything that went on towards Jen, as far as the lawsuits and all of that, or I'm sure she's not the one that tipped off the feds. This case was being built for a very long time, but her situation led her to be a witness in Jen's case. So, I mean, it doesn't get any better than Jen going to prison, losing her snowflake, and then a woman that was a witness in her federal case that called someone in the government and told them about something that she was approached with, then snatches her snowflake. You can't write this type of shit. It literally just falls into the laps of these production companies. It seems like, who in a million years would think that this would just be the next housewife? You know what I mean? So I was here for it. I mean, and she even said, she sat down for lunch or whatever that was with Lisa and Angie K. And she's sitting there and talking to these ladies and thinking to herself, Jen Shah has told me all of these ladies deepest, darkest secrets, and they're sitting here talking they're perfect or whatnot, and what she has been told by Jen is weighing heavy on her. But she didn't say anything. She didn't say exactly what it was. And more so was kind of these ladies just portray a different lifestyle than maybe what they actually live. And I'm wondering if, as the season goes on, we're going to learn more about the secrets that Monica thinks that she knows. Because take anything that Jen Shah says with a grain of salt. It's probably not true. It's probably extremely exaggerated. And the ladies are I'm sure the ladies are going to be freaking pissed, but I want to know what she knows. I want to know what she knows, but you better chill and not come for Lisa, because I just won't be a fan of that. And I like Monica so far. She is got the energy that you need in a housewife, and she has the background that is interesting enough for us to want to get to know more about her. And I think she's going to be a handful this season. I think that she is going to come with a lot, and I'm ready for it. I can't wait. I And still, like, when she said what she said about Jen asking her if she wanted to be rich and make $600,000 a year, I literally almost fell off the fucking floor. I almost fell on the floor. It was not anything that I expected. I didn't even learn that she was one of Jen's assistants until maybe about like a week and a half, 2 weeks before the premiere aired. And then once I learned that, I was like, okay, this, like, she's got some stuff like that she's gonna come out with, and only time will tell. Only time will tell. But I'm here for it. Monica, I think, is going to be a great addition. I want to know what your reaction was to Monica dropping that bomb about Jen and calling her friend in the Secret Service and all of that. Like, were you as shocked as I was? Like, I wasn't expecting that. I want to know what your thoughts were and what you think of her so far from like the premiere episode. Do you think that she's going to be potentially a good housewife, a good fit with the ladies? Are you looking forward to seeing if she exposes any of these ladies' secrets that she was told to by Jen? I don't know. Drop your thoughts. Let's talk about it. I think it's going to be a great season with Monica. We have another thing that I want to talk about in regards to Salt Lake City in the premiere episode. There's obviously some tension built up between Whitney and Meredith. And the fact that this is even a topic of conversation, like, I was just like, this is so ridiculous, but I cannot stop like rewatching like scenes or clips or even like talking to people about the fact that Meredith is so offended that Whitney made a joke about her bathtub. When Meredith says, you don't attack me, you don't come after me, or you don't come after my bathtub. Like, usually it's like, you don't come after my family, or you don't come after my children. But the fact that she said, like, you don't come after my bathtub, it is so stupid. Like, but it is so funny because she's actually mad about this. And towards the end of the episode, obviously Whitney says that she was like joking about it, but Meredith really thought that, like, she took offense to it in the fact that, like, she thought that she was calling her dirty. But I don't think that Whitney would say it in like a negative way, only because, like, of course it was like a bubble bath and like she was taking a bath with Seth or whatnot. All these ladies have. Tamara's done it with Eddie. I mean, who else is taking a bubble bath? Teresa and Joe Giudice. I mean, now we have Seth and Meredith, like, if you're just joining the club. But Whitney doesn't really have a leg to stand in. And this is why I think that, like, she was joking about it and not being so serious about it. And Meredith is overreacting because last season, I believe it was last season or the season before, Whitney was rolling around on her floor in her house in like body paint, and her husband was like smacking her ass, and like that was not like the cleanest thing to be a part of. So I don't think Whitney would judge someone taking a bathtub with their significant other. Like, I just don't think that she would do it. Like, she does her own crazy shit that like doesn't come across as sanitary. So I think Meredith is overreacting about the bathtub situation, but I'm here for it. Like, it just sounds so crazy. But what I don't want is for her to talk about this the entire season. Nobody cares about the bathtub that you took with your husband last season. Talk to her, drop it. I don't want to hear any more about the bathtub. I died that Bravo made bathtub taglines and posted them on Instagram. And it was hilarious. But I'm done. I don't want to hear about it anymore after the premiere. You said what you had to say. She told you she was joking. Keep it moving. I also was like taken aback when they were at this brunch mixer, whatever the hell it was. And Meredith had approached Whitney claiming that Whitney had said she does ketamine. Like, it is just like, what? Like, I mean, I don't even think it was Whitney, because when they did the flashback, I think it was Lisa who is the one that said, like, I was told that you and Heather were like on ketamine during like some trip. Whitney's getting like the shit under the stick here with this one, because I don't think it was her, but Meredith thinks that she was like the root of the rumor. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like, they're fighting about bathtubs and ketamine. Like, it is just so insane. It really is. It's just so crazy. But the ladies are back. They are there. I mean, they are here. The snowflakes have returned. I want to talk about one more part of the premiere of Salt Lake City. And this literally sent me over the edge when I saw this on TV. There was a moment when Lisa Barlow read the text messages that were sent to her by Mary M. Cosby, and I couldn't breathe. I literally could not breathe at everything that she had said. So Lisa's sitting there. I'm going to read you guys the text messages that Mary sent her, because I saw this photo and it's just hilarious. So this is what Mary had texted Lisa. This was the last time Lisa had heard from her. Mary says, Lisa, you're the biggest idiot. You're a black widow. You're the biggest liar in Utah. You'll kill people with your nasty tequila. You remind me of a witch. You evil person. You're not interesting. You're a horrible human being. Those were all the texts from the last time that Lisa had heard from Mary M. Cosby. And they cut to a scene, and Mary says, yeah, I feel good about seeing Lisa. And I like her jacket. After she had just listed off this thread of shit that she had said. When she said, you're going to kill people with your nasty tequila, I lost it. I literally could not breathe. And it made me want to go buy Vita tequila. So, I mean, guys, that is so freaking funny. Like, that was between that moment of Lisa reading those text messages and the bomb that Monica Garcia dropped, that's it. Like, it was everything that made it like the best premiere for me. Also, I don't know why I keep calling Monica by her first and last name. I keep calling her Monica Garcia. I could just call her Monica, but it's just the way that it comes out. But I mean, we're in for a treat of a season. I don't even know where we go from here, but I'm so excited for it. Salt Lake City came back, and obviously it's the premiere episode, so everything is going to be more explosive than the next, or everything is going to be like more like explosive. It's going to be like such a good episode because they want to start it off on like the right foot, which, guys, they did start it off on the right foot. That first 2 minutes was everything. It was so dramatic. It was like very reminiscent of like Mob Wives, that intro that they did where they were like walking in the streets, the cars were driving by, the ladies were reading like scriptures from the Mormon Bible. Do they call it a Bible? I don't know what they call it. But everything about it was amazing. We're obviously not going to get any answers in regards to like what Heather was talking about on the phone in the beginning, which was like super dramatic. I just hope that they're not hyping it up to be something similar to her black eye incident, because if that's the case, like, I'm going to be so pissed. But it sounds like it's pretty juicy. It's obviously something we're probably not going to get until closer to the end of the season. But for the premiere episode, it was amazing. What did you guys think? The RHOSLC season 4 premiere, what were your thoughts? Like, tell me everything. Like, I can't stop talking about it. Like, what were your favorite moments? What are you looking forward to this season? I mean, just drop all the comments. I really want to talk about all of it. It was so good. and I want to hear from you guys. All right. I want to talk about RHOC next. So Orange County. This is going to be quick because a lot of it happened like towards the end. I want to get more into like the stuff that happened between like Emily and Heather and just like all of that stuff because I have some thoughts. So what I will say like is I did really enjoy Jen's mom coming in here and the conversation that she had with Jen regarding her divorce. I loved that we got to see the first meeting between Jen's mom and Ryan. How uncomfortable for Ryan, though, that he had to sit there while her mom was bragging about what a great husband her ex was. Like, it was a little uncomfy, but it is what it is. I mean, it's just probably what she's used to is just her ex-husband. And now she's meeting you and you're new and you don't have a good rap and you've cheated and this and that. And she's just concerned about her daughter and the 5 kids that she has, the 2 kids that you have. You guys have 7 kids total. It's a lot of freaking kids. Like, I think she just wants to make sure everybody is okay. But I enjoyed seeing it. There were moments like of this episode that I really enjoyed. So I wanted to just like really touch on that real quick because I feel like Jen is, I've said it before, I feel like she's just letting us into like every part of her life regarding her kids, now her relationship. She's talked a lot about her ex-husband and like her previous marriage and like all of this. And it was just like good to see. It's just like another point of her life that she's letting us in. She didn't have to show us the first meeting between her mom and Ryan. I was completely obsessed with Heather's HD network party, mainly because my queen Emily got so drunk that I was like living for everything that she was saying. Heather obviously teamed up, and I think it's Mark Cuban who like owns this like Fireside thing or whatever it's called, and Heather is having the HD network on it where she can essentially like have an unlimited amount of shows on this network. And she was like launching it, like just sharing it with her friends and whatnot. But Emily got so drunk, and I love her so much for it because she got loose-lipped and she did not give a shit. She was saying everything that came to mind, and it was so funny. Listen, guys, I know some people think that it was rude, and some people like just didn't agree with it. I don't care. I don't care about that. I thought it was hilarious. And there's obviously like an underlying tension between Heather and Emily right now because we'll learn. Well, I'll tell you what actually happened later on. But Emily's under the impression that Heather told her that Shannon was talking all this shit about her at BravoCon, but wouldn't tell her what it was because it was in the vault. I'm so sick of hearing about this damn vault too. Like, I'm over it. So she was just like upset with Heather that she wouldn't share with her. So I get why she was like drunk and like making fun of her party. It is what it is. It happened. It was great TV. I loved every second of it. When they brought out the lunch and Emily was eating it, and I think it was like a cucumber salad. And it was like a rolled up slice of cucumber. I think she was supposed to cut it, but she was eating it like it was a fucking fruit roll up. Like it was, or like a fruit by the foot. You know what I mean? It was just so ridiculous. And Gina couldn't like hold it together. She was like, I need you to get it together because like you're saying all this shit like about like the event. And Emily's like, oh my God, there's HDs everywhere. Everything's monogrammed. Oh, look, there's an HD here. And Gina was like, shut up and like, just call me after and we'll talk all the shit about it afterwards like normal people would do. But like, don't make a scene here at her event in front of her. I completely lost it when Emily continued to eat. And then she was asking everybody if they had sand in their food because she said she tasted sand. And I don't know who asked her, like, oh, like, is it good? And she goes, I love sand. Like, don't you? Like, it was just so wild. And you know what? Good for Emily. She had 6 to 8 glasses of champagne without even eating. She is there to like let loose, get lit, and have a good time. And I loved every second of it. It really did. Like, I mean, obviously Heather was pissed. I mean, you can't take it back now. It already happened, but it was so funny. I loved every moment of that lunch or that like HG Network party. And it just, the drama from that continued to spill over into them going to Mexico. So they obviously ended the episode on their first trip. And they're in Mexico. They're at a dinner. All of the ladies are like waiting to see if Heather's going to say anything about the sale of her $55 million house. Finally, Tamara brings it up at the end, and Heather just like didn't want to share it with them because she felt like they just wouldn't have like appreciated the news, which I mean, I get what she's saying when she says that, because the ladies do come at her like, obviously, like the whole branding thing, there's HDs everywhere, or like if she says something, it comes off like a little braggy or like elitist or entitled. And I will say some of it does, but I feel like that's such big news that you would share with your friends, right? The house has been on the show since like groundbreaking. Like half of these women have been there through the entire time that you built and lived in the house. So I feel like you should have probably told them before they found out on, I don't know, page 6, People. I have no clue. But they finally talk about it. And the ladies just like, they feel like she's like holding back on sharing things. Shannon says, okay, well, like you have been coming at me for the past couple weeks about hiding information or hiding stuff, but like you're hiding this. Almost like don't expect me to do something that you're also not going to do. That's the kind of the way that it came off. Like Shannon saying, like, don't expect me to share information when you're not going to do it. You're going to withhold stuff as well. And then all hell broke loose when they were sitting down at that table, and Emily and Heather. Sorry, I almost blanked and forgot her name for a minute. Emily and Heather went at it over what happened at the HG Network luncheon, and Heather calls Emily, like she said, I think she says like, Emily, you're being a dick, like all this stuff. And they just get into it. Finally, like Emily tells her like why she's mad and the fact that like she's hiding this information that Shannon supposedly told Heather at BravoCon, like all this stuff that she was talking about them. And Heather denies all of it. And it gets like a little uncomfortable, guys. It was like a little too uncomfortable for me, because as they're talking about all this stuff, and Heather's denying that like she is even holding back, like she's saying that she did not say any of this. She did not tell Emily that Shannon was talking shit about her at BravoCon. They're yelling, they're arguing, and they weren't even yelling. They were just like a little loud. They were like arguing about the situation. And then Heather has to give them all gifts that she brought them for the trip. And Gina couldn't have said it perfectly. Like that was the most uncomfortable gift she's ever received, because they all were just arguing about Heather not sharing the information about the sale of the house. They're also arguing about Emily and Heather and Shannon and like that like situation. And then all of a sudden Heather's going to hand out gifts to these ladies. It was just like very uncomfortable and like weird and awkward and silent. And like, what the hell's going on? We're arguing, but then you're giving everyone customized like monogrammed like gifts. It was a lot. But what I will say in regards to the ladies being upset about Heather not sharing about the sale of the house is, I get it. She signed an NDA. So she says, about not being able to talk about it. And she didn't want it to like be in the press. And then she says that, oh, I was going to use this trip as the moment to tell you guys, since we were all here and all together. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that. She just said that she pulled it out of her ass. She was not going to tell you guys. If it didn't come out in the press, she wasn't going to tell you on that trip. She was going to keep it to herself because she's pissed at all of you guys and the way you're acting with her. You weren't going to hear about it from her on this trip. I get why she didn't say anything. I don't think she owes it to the ladies. Well, no, let me take that back. I think she does. I think the ladies should have known about the sale, but I don't think that like it was necessary for Heather to tell them. So like I stated earlier, like obviously these ladies were there from like groundbreaking until like now, the sale of the home. They've been along for the ride. Would it have been nice for them to know? Obviously, yes, but it wasn't necessary for them to know. She didn't owe it to them. Like it was, that's where I'm kind of getting with that. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wish I had a house that I can sell for $55 million. Like, and to kind of throw it back to earlier in the episode, when they were selling, when they went to the house for the last time and Heather had opened the doors and her and Terry were just dancing on like that patio area. And you can see like the ocean and like the lights in the background, like the skyline. They fucking made it. Like they are living their best life. That view, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like this is like, they have made it. Like they just sold this home for like an insane amount of money. They can literally do whatever they want. Like kudos to them. They really can. Like, and that just goes to show like how smart they are in business and like, and just like everything. Like they've just made great career moves, like financial like moves, like all of it. I was like, it's like very admirable. I was like, oh my God, like that, like watching them dance in that house as like the last time. It was very cool. And I literally looked at my boyfriend and I was like, damn, that's like super cool. Like they made it. Like this is like what, like that's very impressive. So I get her not wanting to share because she's having this exciting moment and then them kind of maybe shit talking her friends, that is, her friends shit talking her would like put a damper on the experience that she's going through. So I get it. But it still would have probably been nice for them to hear it from you and not through the press. Guys, I'm telling you, and we got a to be continued at the end of this episode because the fight was just like so crazy. So it was a to be continued. If you haven't already, I did post the first 7 minutes to next week's episode on my Instagram. It's obviously just at Bravo by Gaze. You guys can go check that out if you don't want to wait until next week. But it was intense. That was an intense end of the episode. So from that HG Network event to the end, it was, I loved it. Guys, I can't say it enough. I'm loving this season of OC. They filmed their reunion yesterday. So hopefully their looks come out by the time we record next week. We got the seating chart. Bravo dropped the seating chart the day that they filmed the reunion. Obviously there's Andy, and then on one side you have Heather in the first seat next to him. Next to Heather is Gina, and next to Gina is Jen. And then on the other side you have Tamara next to Andy. And then next to Tamara is Shannon, and then Emily on the end. And then when Taylor comes in, Taylor will be on the side of the couch with Emily, Shannon, and Tamara. It makes sense to me, guys. The seating chart makes sense. I mean, I don't think there's any other way you could have done it. People are asking why Gina and Emily aren't sitting next to each other. There's only 6 housewives. Gina and Emily are friends, so it makes sense to put them on one couch. And then Emily on the side with everybody else. So hopefully by next week we can take a look at some of the reunion looks. But I don't think we've gotten the mid-season trailer from them yet. So I'm assuming that's going to come out within like the next week or so. But this season is flying by. It really is. And I'm not mad at it. The season is real. I'm not mad at the season. The season is good. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait to see what's going to happen next week and just like where we're going to go from here, because these ladies are just out of their goddamn rocker. I believe Vicky comes next week, and that's just going to add a whole nother level of crazy. So buckle up, because it's about to be the Tres Amigas in Mexico. They're going to be drinking tequila. Hopefully no one breaks a bone, but I can't wait. And I can't wait to talk about it with you guys. So that was it on RHOC. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. All right, guys, there are a few things I want to touch on with last week's episode of Real Housewives of New York City. I didn't know if I was going to have time to talk to you guys about it, but I do, and these are my thoughts. It was obviously a filler episode, and nothing wrong with that. They've been delivering every episode, so my thing with this is, though, it almost felt like it was like a pile on Jenna episode. Like they were literally just like coming at Jenna from every direction, and she's like got to do some like Matrix shit and like avoid like everything that's coming her way. But I will say this, it was a very Jenna-centric episode. I loved in the beginning seeing everything between her and her brother. I did not know that she worked for Rockefeller Center and like helping them revamp that area and bring new retail into their, like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I did not know that they had people who were like looking for stores to come into areas like that. I thought stores would just like see a place for lease and like go in and like sell their stuff. It's very cool to see that like that's where her career led her. And it was nice to like hear her talk to her brother. And obviously we love New York City and like the wintertime, Christmas season. It's gorgeous. So to see the tree and like the lights on Fifth Avenue, like it was really nice. It was good to see. It was like I felt bad for her because she was sitting there talking to her brother about like her skin condition and like the insecurities that she has in regards to like being around the other ladies. She thinks that they have like perfect bodies, gorgeous skin. And she talks about like maybe some stuff that she's heard other people say about her. In like the past, I believe she said someone had like looked at her once and was like, ew, look at that girl's skin. Also, who does that? Because you don't even know like what someone is going through. And in Jenna's case, it's a genetic disorder, a genetic condition. And Jenna decides that she wants to fly down to Anguilla. Is it Anguilla? Anguilla. 2 days early to like catch a tan to like maybe just like even out her skin. So she feels comfortable when she's around these ladies at the beach. No big deal. Jenna made the mistake of telling Aaron that she is leaving 2 days early because she got a business class seat and she hates flying coach. Glad that she said it. She should have maybe kept that to herself because the ladies were running with this and like they were like, ew, oh my God, how dare you? A point of the girls' trip is for us to like all fly down there together and like have the experience, blah, 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 blah. Who cares if she left 2 days early I think she had already planned to leave early to go down to like get some sun. And the perk was it just happened to be 2 days earlier where she got a first class seat. I think. I don't know. I'm sounding like a Jenna defender right now, but that just makes the most sense to me. I don't think she owes it to the girls to like give it a reason as to why she did it, right? She's like, I don't know how old she is, guys. I'm sorry. I think she maybe like late 40s, early 50s. If she wants to fly business, she can fly business. Also, I get what you're saying where the point of like the group trip is to fly down together. You're all sitting in coach. Even if she was sitting in coach with you, it's a 3-hour plane ride. It's not like you guys are going to be chit-chatting and gossiping and like making noise, having a grand old time partying. Like when you're on a plane, like you're literally watching something on like your iPad or your laptop or listening to like music or reading a book. Like who cares if she wasn't with you for that 3-hour plane ride? Like to me, it just like, it doesn't make a difference. But these ladies just kind of like, they, Jenna gave this, she literally was like, here you go. This is like, she handed the ladies like this, like ammunition or whatnot. Like she opened her mouth and said that, and the ladies were going to take it and run with it. And they did just that. It's kind of like there's consequences for like things that come out of your mouth, like, you know what I mean? So, but it was funny. It was entertaining. I really enjoyed Jenna like trying to like defend herself when she got there and was talking to the girls. And Bryn, I don't know who it was, like someone had made like a comment about her flying down early, and Jenna was explaining herself as to like why she did it. Again, it was to like get some sun so that way her skin was like evened out. So just so she felt more confident around the other girls. And she was saying like, I don't ever like really bare my skin. Like and then she goes to Bryn, like, have you ever seen photos of me on the red carpet? Like, wearing anything revealing is what I like think that she said. It kind of cut out towards the end. But the fact that she said, like, have you ever seen pictures of me on the red carpet wearing such and such? When I tell you, I almost lost it because she was like, she meant that. She was like, have you ever seen pictures of me on the red carpet wearing anything revealing? Thinking that these girls have ever like looked up photos of her on the red carpet. Like, and Bryn said just that. She goes, no, sorry, I don't look up pictures of you on the red carpet. Like, it was hilarious. And that's just kind of like, Jenna is like at that level. She's just like at that level of celebrity where like, or like, that would come out of her mouth. I don't know, but I loved every second of it. And I loved that the ladies just laughed because they couldn't believe that she said it. Regardless, I don't think the like gang up on Jenna is over after this episode. I think it's going to continue into next. And I get it. Some of the ladies are annoyed with this situation. I think they're a little annoyed that she's given you gifts from like her collabs and all of that stuff. But like I said before, just take it. I mean, I think she might be giving it to you with the like expectation of posting about it, but you don't have to. Like, who cares? I mean, and if you don't want it, you can always send it to me. My email's in my bio on Instagram. I'm just kidding. But like I said, I don't think this is the end of the gang up on Jenna. I think it's just going to continue, and they're going to complain about like the product stuff next week, and it's just going to keep going. But I want them to have fun because they're staying in an insanely gorgeous villa. It is absolutely beautiful. And I literally cannot wait for the rest of the trip. I just love when these girls like are on their vacations. It's so much fun. Hopefully they can put differences aside and just have a good time, get drunk, let loose, and have a good time. But that is what I wanted to talk to you guys in regards to, that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about in regards to RHONY, was the fact that this felt like a little bit of a Jenna pile-on episode. And I'm just not here for it. I don't co-sign that. But I can't wait for next week's app. All right, guys, there are a couple of things that I just kind of want to wrap this up with. Obviously, last week you heard the podcast episode that I did with Bravo and Cocktails in regards to the Carl and Lindsay breakup. We are a week later, obviously, into it. We haven't seen any statements from either party involved. They've both been silent on social media, and I want to know what the hell is going on. So, nothing from either party. Obviously, we saw that Carl left. He went to Minnesota. The internet is going crazy because there's rumors that are starting to come out, and these are all alleged. Nobody knows what the hell's going on, obviously, that there's like some theories that are being spread around in regards to what happened. I don't want to talk about those rumors because I don't want to like put anything that's not true out into like the universe. So if you're interested in what they are, obviously you've probably already heard them. You can check them out on someone else's page, but I'm not going to talk about it. So what I want to know is, where the hell are the statements from Lindsay and Carl? I mean, what is going on? Why are they being so quiet? And I get that it's fresh and they just need some time. But listen, even Joe Jonas and Sophie released statements like within a few days of the rumors being spread about them. So Carl Radke and Lindsay Hubbard can release statements a week after everything broke. I am just like literally on the edge of my seat every single day, refreshing my phone screen, looking to see if either one of them say anything about what's going on. And I just checked and no, nothing. Obviously, they deserve to take all the time that they want to kind of like come to terms with what's going on. They don't owe us a statement, but it's just kind of like the pattern. It's just kind of like what these people do. You break up, they release a statement. So everyone's anxious to know what's going on. We're obviously not going to get like details of the situation in the statement, which is a bummer. It's probably just going to be like, we've decided to call off our wedding and go our separate ways. Just please respect our privacy whatsoever, blah, 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 blah. We're going to see it play out, though, on next season. Andy had talked about it on Radio Andy and said, we are going to see what led up to this on the next season of Summer House. He talked to production. There's a series of things that had occurred that lead up to this situation of them calling off their wedding. With that said, do I want the same? And yes, they don't owe it to us, though. I just hope that they're both like taking the time to work through whatever the hell's going on between the two of them. It's a lot. And I just can't wait to hear all about it. I'm just ready. Like, I saw someone comment something that said production needs to work as fast as they can to get next season out by next week so we know what's going on. And I've never related to something more. Like, let's go. Let's get out that next season ASAP. But it's not going to happen. We're not going to get it until probably the spring. But that is what I wanted to end on with you guys, because I just like, everyone's talking about it, and I've just been like thinking, it's just been like on my mind. I like every day, like what's going on with them, because there's just a lot of things that are being said, and obviously none of us know the truth, and they're all alleged, but hopefully both of them are okay. But with that said, guys, we're already at the end. I hope that you guys have an amazing week ahead. Hopefully there is some stuff that goes down before we chat again next week. And if it does, then you obviously know we're going to discuss it. But I do want to end on one last note. The Bills are playing on Monday, and we're playing the Jets. So go Bills. Have a good week, guys. I will talk to you next week.